because it costs over 1 million naira. I was like, mba, 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 no. I've never reached the place yet. I'm already spending 1 million naira on flights. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chioma. So on Fridays I share my travel stories, and currently I'm telling you guys the stories that relate to me relocating to Vancouver, Canada from Nigeria. I'll also be telling you other travel stories once COVID is all over and we can travel again, and I can actually settle in well enough to actually save money to travel. Travel is not cheap. Today I'm going to talk about coming to Canada. So the first thing about traveling is transportation, and I really had to figure out what flights I wanted to take to come to Canada. I booked my flights to Canada, I think it was October 13th. I got my PR, I think September or even October. I think I got, anyways, I booked my flights almost immediately after I got it because I felt like I needed to book it as early as possible so that it doesn't get more expensive. So I checked with Skyscanner. Skyscanner was the app that I use when I'm traveling anywheres, really. And it's a website that kind of compares all the different flights with all their prices. And the cheapest, the one with the least time was BA, British Airways. I didn't even know that British Airways did a direct flight to Canada. I think it was a direct flight, I'm not sure, but it was just 16 hours. I'm not sure because I really didn't even look too much on it because it cost over 1 million naira. I was like, mba, 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 no. I've never reached the place yet. I'm already spending 1 million naira on flights. It's not even as if it's like business class, economy. And even with the economy itself, it wasn't including luggage. Like, you still have to pay for your luggage. I was like, what kind of rubbish British Airways is this? So I didn't even look at British Airways. The three flights that I kind of compared was Lufthansa, Ethiopian Airways, and Turkish Airlines. The number one on the list was Lufthansa, and it was number one on the list because it was 21 hours. Vancouver is 5 hours away from Toronto. Most flights go to Toronto and then come to Vancouver. Lufthansa was the only one that went from Abuja to Frankfurt and then from Frankfurt to Vancouver. I feel like if I lived in Lagos, maybe I might have more options, but these were the ones that were leaving from Abuja. So the Lufthansa one was a 21-hour flight. It was from Abuja to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Vancouver, and it was about 602,280,000 naira, which I considered because of that time. The time I really had to think very well if I wanted to spend less time on the air, because traveling, like, I really don't like, honestly, I really don't like the process of traveling. I hate being on the plane. I hate being at airports. So I really considered Lufthansa because it was more like, it wasn't direct, but it was a lot shorter. The next one was Ethiopian Airways. It was 31 hours flight, and the cost of that was 376,306 naira. The flight route was Abuja to Addis Ababa, Addis Ababa to Toronto, and then Toronto to Vancouver. So it was a long ass flight with 3 different checks, and I was like, oh my god. The last one on the list was Turkish Airlines. It was 33 hours. The cost of it was 455,922 naira, and It was from Abuja to Istanbul, Istanbul to Toronto, and then Toronto to Vancouver. So that one was actually out because it is longer time, it's more money, and it's it was just out. So it was really between Lufthansa. Like, I removed BA. BA had the shortest time but the most money. Turkish Airways had the longest time, not the most money, but it had the longest time, so I removed that. Then it was between Lufthansa and Ethiopian Air. So what I did was I went and I kind of searched for the airline, the aircraft. I wanted to see the size of the aircraft. I wanted to look at their economy side and see how comfortable I'll be. Because it was just I think about 200,000 naira difference. 200,000 naira is a lot of money, but I really wanted to see if it was worth it, because I don't want to play myself. I don't want to do that I'm trying to save 200,000 and then go and enter into the pit. But the Ethiopian Air with the 376,306, it was inclusive of 2 luggages. It was inclusive of the meals, which is pretty standard in international flights. I looked at the aircraft. The aircraft looked big enough from what I could see online. The aircraft looked big enough. And so I knew that it wasn't something that was really going to be too uncomfortable. I also looked at the Lufthansa aircraft and it was about the same. Also, I also wasn't sure because I was also hearing rumors that people that stop at Frankfurt, they might need them to also get like a visa or some transit visa or something from Frankfurt. So because they're in Frankfurt. So at the end of the day, I decided to go with the Ethiopian Airways, even though I didn't tell people. Most of the people that asked me when I was in Nigeria, I told them I was going with Lufthansa, because why do you want to know? Why do you want to know the flights I was going with so that you judge me? Because Nigeria, once you say Ethiopian Airways, they'll start looking at you like, even me self, I was like, Ethiopian Airways, I shall not go and just add this 200k and go to Lufthansa. But at the end of the day, after searching, I actually went to their office. I didn't pay online. I actually went to their office, asked questions before I now decided that Ethiopian Airlines was probably my best bet. So it was an extra 10 hours, but that 200k is money that I added to my journey to Vancouver. Okay, so that's it with flight. So I came with Ethiopian Airlines. It was a 31-hour flight, 376,306 naira. That's what I spent on the flights. Then with packing, I gave out 80% of my clothes. Let me say 80%, more like 90% of my clothes I gave out to my sister and my cousins. My clothes and my shoes. I didn't really have anything to say in terms of furniture or things like that, because the apartment that I lived in Abuja, I lived in with my sister and she was still staying there. So there was really no point selling anything like furniture or things like that. No, I didn't have to do that. So I sold, the only things that I really sold was my recording equipment. So I had some studio equipment that I bought because I thought I was going to be in the media world, production industry. So I had some studio equipment. I finally sold them. The only thing that I came with was my tripod, one tripod. But I sold everything else. I sold my TV. I sold my my production equipment, and that was pretty much the only thing that I really sold. Then I gave out my books. My books were like the hardest thing to let go of, because I wasn't reading as much as I thought I would read, but I was piling up books, and I was saying to myself that once I get the time, I'll be able to read this book. And the time never came. And it was time for me to travel, and there was all these books that I had been piling up and saying that I need to read. But but I never read. So eventually it was really hard for me to let them go. But luckily for me, I found a site online, nigeriareads.com, where I could donate my books. It was like 3 or 4 Ghana must goes of books. And I was able to donate it to nigeriareads.com. And what they do is that they give out these books to schools and libraries, and just they have rallies of where people can come and actually select the books. They have pop-ups where people can actually come and select books for free. So I did that. I gave it to them. I was so happy that they existed, and they gave me a shirt, and I wear the shirt once in a while now. So what did I buy? I really didn't buy a lot of things in terms of when I was coming to Canada. The main things that I bought was I bought Indomie relish, because at that time I was really liking Indomie relish. So I bought Indomie relish. I bought a whole carton or 2. I think it was 1 carton or 2. Then I bought crochet. So this hair that I'm carrying, I bought crochet braids because I really wasn't sure if they have it here, and they do. But I bought like 5 crochets, and so that's what I've been doing with my hair for the entire year. So I haven't actually gone to the salon for the year. I've just been doing crochet. I also bought spices. I bought like 3 cans of pepper, because if it's like living in England where all the food are mostly bland tasting, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I bought pepper. And I bought brown powdered Maggi. I bought powdered onions, curry powder. I think that was pretty much it. I didn't really buy so many spices, but those were the spices that I got, if I can remember. I didn't really want to pack anything like red oil or boroko or this. I didn't want to do that because I just felt like I didn't even want to go through that hassle with the airport people. The next thing that I did in preparation was to get my driving history from the Nigerian licensing company. So I went and I tried to get it. Luckily for me, you know this thing that you find someone to help you. I paid the man a lot more money than I would normally pay for the licensing. And I think I paid him that much because I had started the process late. In fact, I just didn't want to talk too much about it. So I just paid him. I think I paid him like 10,000 naira. And he gave me, like, it took me 2 days to get it. So it wasn't too stressful. So after that, after I finished preparing, I went and I spent time with my family. So I went from Abuja to Enugu, and I really just stayed with my family. And then I stayed till Christmas, and it was really a good time. I think I didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really do anything. I don't really have friends in Enugu, much friends in Enugu left, so I really didn't even see anybody apart from my siblings. Yeah, I didn't even see anybody apart from my siblings and my parents and my family. I was really indoors most of the time. The times that I drove out was to go to my sister's house. But that was it really. I didn't really do anything. I was just with my family. And that's how I spent my last days in Nigeria. Immediately after that, I came back. So my flight was on the 31st. I think I came back either on the 29th or on the 30th. So yeah, I really just came back, put more things together, and then the next day, my cousin came and picked me up. So my cousin came in his car, and I had like 3 boxes, and that was when I now told my neighbors that I was traveling, that I'm traveling for good and I'm relocating to Canada. So it was fun. It was a bit tear-jerking, but not really. And I left late. From my house. I don't know why. And one of my sisters was wasting time. So, and we almost left her. But anyways, my sister went with me to the airport. My sisters, two of my sisters went with me to the airport. On our way to the airport, my cousin's car started leaking oil. It's like, and I was already late. So immediately the car just started leaking oil, and we were looking for a place to park. I just got on the Uber app and just started ordering an Uber. Like, I'm definitely not going. I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to miss my flight to Canada. And the Uber came to the filling station where my cousin had to park and pick me up. And so we continued our journey, picked me and my sisters up, and we continued our journey in an Uber. When I got there, because of how long the flight was, I packed painkillers because I know how flights are for me. I know now normal 6 hours flight for me, but to do 31 hours, I knew that I was going to be spending most of the time sleeping. So I packed painkillers and I packed some sleep inducing pills. I also packed some face cleanser, face mask. Like, I was really going to make myself as comfortable as possible. So I packed a face mask, a cleanser, some, moisturizer. I knew that I was going to have to go and clean up myself 31 hours. So I packed that in like a small container. I packed my painkillers. I packed like 3 pillows. I packed like 3 pillows because I was like, if it's not, at least I can put my pillow, I can sleep. I packed like 3 pillows, and yes, that was how it was. I wouldn't say it was a bad flight because I was sleeping most of the time. If I wasn't sleeping, I was watching a movie. The space between the leg wasn't too bad. There was one where there was actually nobody sitting beside me, so I had the entire row. So I was actually like, it actually seemed like I was in first class because I was like lying my leg this way. Well, that's not how first class is, but the flight wasn't bad at all. The flight from Abuja to Addis Ababa is not bad. My flight from Addis Ababa to Toronto was not bad at all. When I got to Toronto, I did my landing paper, so I had to do immigration at my immigration, customs, everything in Toronto. I was thinking that I would have, because what I read online was I would do it in Vancouver. So, and the window between my connecting flights was really like short. I think it was like an hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. So I was really kind of anxious that I was going to miss it because I had to now go through the whole customs things and go and get my landing paper. But I tried not to think too much about it. I went, got my landing papers. They asked me where I was going to, my address. So I put the address of my friend. So I had a friend here, so I put his address. And they also asked me, I think that was really all they asked me, for my passport, address, am I carrying any illegal or whatever. They didn't even check, just asked me. I was expecting them to ask me for how much I have and things like that. They didn't even ask me. And so yeah, immediately I did that. I ran off and started running like a mad woman to go and find my connecting flight. So I had to go check and get my bags, go run like a mad woman to go and check it in to the local flight, and then started looking for the gates. By the time I found the gates, I think I had like 10 minutes on my time. I thought they would have closed the gates, but when I got there, they said that the flight was delayed. So I waited in Toronto airport for another 2 to 3 hours. I wasn't even tired. At the Toronto airport was where my mom called me. I was like, I think they were just waking up in Nigeria. And I told her that I'm still on the way. And she's like, either they were just waking up or it was already afternoon in Nigeria or something. She's like, what? How are you just waking up? It's been 2 days. It's almost 2 days. I said, don't worry. When you want to come, you fly BA. direct 16 hours. It's still long. 16 hours is still long, but at least it's more direct. 1 million. By God's grace, we'll have money at that time. You just pay 1 million. We'll just pay 1 million for you to just fly direct, or you have to go on this long journey. Oh my days. So I saw, I waited in Toronto airport for I think another 3 hours before I got on the plane from Toronto to Vancouver. What I would have done if I knew that they charge for food on the airline I would have eaten while I was waiting. So I didn't eat because I thought I would eat on the plane, and I really don't also like eating so much when I'm traveling because I don't want my tummy to start running on the airplane, because that would just be really bad. That would be bad. So I don't eat as much. I don't eat much when I'm traveling. But I hadn't really eaten anything. And I was waiting for my in-flight food on Canada Air. Only for me to get there and say you have to pay for, whatever it is you're eating. On Canada, I was like, people don't give free. You don't even give free snack. They don't give free snack. You have to pay. Maybe I'll do a difference between Nigeria and Canada, and that's one of the things I'll talk about. In Canada, you have to buy your snacks on the flight, no matter how long the flight is. This was a 5-hour flight. They did not give us anything. I think they maybe just gave us water and juice. They did not give us anything to eat, and it's a normal thing. So I have my stuff written out here. So that was it, and I got to Vancouver. When I got to Vancouver, it was raining. I just picked up my luggage. My friend was already waiting for me, so I picked up my luggage and he called a cab, and we went to my Airbnb. Oh, I didn't talk about it. My Airbnb was the second thing I booked after my flight. Maybe I booked my flight, I booked my Airbnb. Or did I book my Airbnb first? But I booked it from Nigeria. And I was really while I was searching for my Airbnb, the things I was looking for was, I was trying to make sure that it wasn't in Gastown, because I had read that Gastown was not the best place to live. So I was looking for Airbnbs that were not in Gastown. I was also looking for Airbnbs where I could get a lot of space, that had a lot of windows, because I needed a lot. At that point, I needed a lot of space. I needed a lot of light. So I was looking for a lot of windows, and I was also looking at the price. And I found an Airbnb that had all that. I didn't want to stay on the ground, so that I wasn't looking at Airbnbs. I wasn't looking at what's it called, basements Airbnbs. But I found one that was really affordable, in comparison to every other thing that I saw, and I booked it. It was less than $1,000 for a month. So that was actually a good deal. And it was a house, with two bedrooms house. So in my mind, I was like, okay, at the very least, I'll share with one person. But yeah, that was pre-corona, so it wasn't a problem. Okay, so when I got to Vancouver, I immediately went to my Airbnb. My friend picked me up. Went to my Airbnb. I immediately went to change money. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys about money. I thought that I would be able to change my Naira to card, but I had to change it to USD. I don't think people even sell Canadian dollars in Nigeria. And I couldn't find Canadian. I was there. JJC, looking for Canadian dollars, but I didn't really find anyone that sold Canadian dollars, so I had to change my money to USD. And when I got here, I went straight to the bank to try and put my money in the bank. I had actually also opened a bank account from Nigeria with National Bank, but I didn't even remember till I was walking through the mall, and I was like, National Bank actually have an account here. So I went and I tried to pay the money in, but this was days later. So what I did was I just changed a few dollars from the bank to Canadian dollars, a few US dollars to Canadian dollars, and then I went to the mall. I bought a jacket and a pair of boots. No, I didn't buy a pair of boots that day. I just bought a pair of jackets, and then we ate. My cousin and I call him my cousin, but it's a distant relative that I met as a friend, and we found out that we actually have some connection, like some friends, some relatives that we shared. So it's a distant relative. Oh God, I don't talk tired. What else? We ate. I went and got my SIN, which is my social insurance number, and that's it. That was my landing story. What do you guys think? Let me know, and come back for more stories next week. I think I'm going to be telling you guys about how I got 2 jobs in 1 month. So stay tuned, and don't forget to follow the Canada Settler, because I'll be sharing more on that. I also decided to start doing Monday makeup and motivation. I already recorded it before I did this. So also come back on Monday, because I'll be sharing my Monday makeup motivation. This Monday I'm going to talk about how to turn hate into love, because somebody hated on my vlog. Someone put some hate comment on my blog. I'm not used to that kind of thing. Now I'm used to the love that you guys give me. But yeah, come back on Monday. If I've already done it by the time you're watching this, I'm going to leave it in the cards so that you can go and watch it. All right guys, take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications. Don't forget to come to my social media. I'm on Instagram, but I think I'm going to also get on Twitter. Don't forget to come to my social media, and let's do this. All right, take care. Bye.